Well, in the wake of the Pahalgam terror attack, an encounter between security forces and a group of militants has now begun near Basantgarh in Jammu Kashmir's Udhampur district. This happened today morning, 2 days after a militant attack on tourists in South Kashmir's Pahalgam. One soldier has been killed is what we understand from reports. This is also what the Indian Army has said. The Udhampur encounter began soon after security forces established contact with militants. And this was during a search operation that has been underway for the last few days. Sources have also said that searches were launched following intelligence and information that was gathered about presence of militants in this area. Now, the search parties have reached the place and militants have opened fire, and that led to this encounter. Fresh encounter in J&K now. Encounter in Udhampur. One Jawan has been killed. That's what Army has confirmed. Based on specific intelligence, a joint operation with Jammu Kashmir Police was launched today in Basantgarh. Udhampur contact was established and a fierce firefight ensued. One of our brave hearts sustained grievous injuries in the initial exchange and later succumbed despite best medical efforts. This is what the Army has said. Operations remain ongoing. Remember, this comes 2 days after the horrific, most brutal attack on tourists in Pahalgam. 26 people died in that attack. In fact, mortal remains are just on their way to home states today of the tourists, and India has already taken several measures as part of its diplomatic offensive against Pakistan. But today, the news, what we are able to report to you is that an encounter between security forces and a group of militants began in Basantgarh in Udhampur district of J&K. This happened today morning, and this is just 2 days after the Pahalgam terror attack. What we know so far is that one soldier has been killed in this gunfight with terrorists. Indian Army has confirmed this. Udhampur encounter began soon after security forces established contact. My colleague Nazir joins us with more details on this. Nazir, what do we know so far on this Udhampur encounter?
Well, this operation is underway, but Army has suffered one casualty. One soldier has been killed in action in the initial shootout, which is a place called Basantgarh. This place has witnessed multiple encounters in last 1 year. It is in Udhampur. Udhampur is adjacent to Jammu district and the Riyasi district. So that way it makes much more challenging because all this and Basantgarh is a tri-junction. On one hand, it can connect the Doda areas and Kutwa also. So in that way, this has been always a challenging spot, a challenging area for the security forces. And today, as Army launched the operation, they came under heavy firing, in which one Army soldier has lost his life. Most of the times we have seen in the past, whenever there was such attack, these militants who appear to be, well-trained in jungle warfare have managed to escape, and this time it's not clear if any of the attacker is holed up in the area where Army is there or they have managed to escape after the attack. This has become the biggest challenge since this, attack has come just days after the massacre in Pahalgam. Now we see this major encounter in Basantgarh, Udhampur, which can explain the spread of militancy in Jammu and Kashmir like never before. J&K has not seen militancy from south of Pir Panjal to the north and from Kutwa to Pahalgam before, like this before. So it has become a huge security challenge. That is why you saw yesterday Government of India took a decision and decided to suspend Indus Water Treaty and ask Pakistan to irrevocably end terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. So we have been seeing there are tough measures taken by the Government of India, but on the ground we see security forces are engaged in this encounter, but one Army soldier has been killed in action in this encounter so far.
Well, Nazir, we also understand that this is the third encounter since third kind of operation that's happening after Pahalgam terror attack. There was also one in Kulgam, and also there was an attempt to stop an infiltration bid in Uri. Tell us, what are the troops doing at a time like this in the valley? Because this is also clearly one of those challenging times because agencies have to work in close coordination, intelligence gaps have to be identified. At the same time, infiltrators have to be stopped.
Well, both counter-infiltration and counter-militancy grid is in place. So nothing new to be done. Only thing is that Pakistan has tried to push more militants to keep the pot boiling, and also push the militants who are trained in the jungle warfare. For the last few years, security forces are dealing with that kind of, militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier, it used to be the local militants who were not trained; they were just a ragtag militant, just picking up gun, and in few days or a few months they would get killed. But these type of militants who have been trained, and some of them are said to be veterans, so even Afghan veterans also, they have been pushed into Jammu and Kashmir. They are causing the bigger challenge for the security agencies.
Right.
And that is why you see encounter after encounter, attack after attack in Jammu and Kashmir. So
right.
security force, it will take a time before the security force factor in how to deal with this and curb this new trend of militants.
Thank you so much, Nazir. My colleague Nazir there reporting on the fresh encounter that was witnessed in Udhampur today. One army personnel has died in this, unfortunately. But remember, these are ongoing operations. We'll get you those details as the story evolves.